We work very closely with government, DEFRA, Her Majesty's Treasury and PUK. They actually work very well with us through the programme of actually providing support to us in guidance and also referring things back to them. Yes, legal advice had to be taken, making sure we were checking ourselves as we went through the process. And then we had to turn around with the banks. And as you can see there, we ended up with 3 waves of 4 banks. You know, we hadn't set out to do that. We set out with 2 banks who were going to bank the process. But, as we all know, through the process, life changed considerably. The issues the sponsors had to overcome the banks and the complexity and really working, getting a series of banks to work together and getting all of them satisfied because they all wanted a variation on the theme. They all had to go through their due diligence and also get approval. We went for making sure the maximised benefits were there for us, for refinances went through, and last but not least, of course, we were benefited by the fact that the investment fund came into being, and we were the first PFI, one of the few, to actually get that injection. But that was really the closing down. But for them to get their own due diligence done was quite a piece of work to actually do in the time frame that we had available to us. Aside to that, we actually got a major benefit because we managed to get our planning permissions out of the way. We only had 2 minor planning permissions left at the end of the day, so we managed to close all of our 23 planning permissions because I've got 23 sites. I've got 37 facilities being built on those sites of different types. The funding, there's a quick breakdown of the funding. Most certainly IB was a nice to have when we started this programme. It was essential by the time we finished. There was a small injection from ourselves, but you can see the major split there as we actually worked through it. I've shown you there the capital quite clearly. Equity Bridge came in as far as the sponsor was concerned, and there was a share between the 2 SPVs. We have a second SPV because that is the thermal power station, if you want to put it like that, which is actually on the INEOS site. So the spread is there as we actually work through it. That's our successes, quite clearly. You know, we had a lot of success there with regards to the political side, but the partnership working across the whole of the piece, maintaining the trade union, willingness to work with us, getting them in to test out the bidders, etc., and maintaining our 9 waste collection authorities and their programmes for rolling collection systems out. Very significant investment going out there. Sponsors were well engaged. We also had the benefit of having a stable team of advisors. In fact, the same person who started the advice to us didn't change throughout our delayed period. We managed to keep people on board. So we weren't re-educating people, we actually kept them through it. I suppose really, you know, we were not scared to actually get into these areas. We had a lot of success, a lot of expertise around us to guide us. We had a lot of the political backing to make sure it was there. We had some flexibility to make sure our timeframes were deliverable. We'd already taken out landfill contracts because we wanted a technical solution. I didn't want a landfill solution, so I got landfill contracts in 2013. We'd also taken out composting contracts, and we'd also taken the paper and card contracts to market to test that what our solution was driving forward was going to be there. And we just continue to check things and make sure that planning was there to hit the ground, hit it up and running. And in fact, we've actually got 22 sites now completed. Were we actually benefiting? Sorry, were we right with our procurement strategy? We probably weren't right. We actually we should have had more emphasis on the financing. I mean, we left that up to the sponsors. Maybe we should have had more involvement. You know, waste will always be a complex area because it's not just build a building, it's actually the whole of the life of that as we actually run forward. And making sure the risk allocation is there and making sure we actually planned for everything as we went forward. We would have had more tighter links with government because of the way that we actually felt things had gone, but in reality we were not to know that the credit crunch was coming. And we were never timetable driven, but all we're saying to other people is please don't be timetable driven, something was there. And the one thing it took some time to do was actually close down some of the sites because nobody wants to actually sell you a waste site, I can assure you. But because we worked with the plan as well, we were able to actually have something which actually was deliverable. Really, that's our summary. It still works if you can get the PFI, but there is alternatives, ways of funding it that are out there. There is a total aversion, as far as we're concerned, with blending commercial waste. That's got to be corporately financed. Banks aren't taking short-term contracts on. They want a 25-year contract or a 20-year contract to build the facilities, and you'll pay for that according. It's still tight. Yes, they wanted higher margins. That's something we had to budget for. But in fairness, we stayed with our affordability envelope all the way through the process. That's an affordability envelope that we actually set back in 2004. So actually have closed on that in 2009 in the crisis. It was good going, but we actually managed to stay with our affordability envelopes. And really, you know, last but not least, as long as you've got a strong business case, and that also means being strong and having confidence in the political side of it, as well as delivery teams, you will get your funding from the likes of the EIB, TIFU, etc. So, you know, best of luck. Thanks very much.